Hello and welcome to the 100th episode of the My Hero Academia podcast. Woo!
Woo! Whoa!
What was that?
That was James.
Trust the Texan to take it too far.
Yeah, go big and go home.
Now that you're all awake, I'm Kendra, and I have with me Sophie. Hi, Sophie.
Hello.
Gary.
Hi.
And James.
Hi.
Yay.
Didn't scream this time.
We're going to jump right into the news because there isn't very much. There was a new chapters of Vigilantes, which was really good. I highly recommend Vigilantes if you haven't checked it out yet. And James, do you want to tell us a little bit about anime news?
Oh, yes, they've dubbed episode 85. It was on Toonami last night. I didn't have a chance to catch it. I believe it was on Toonami last night.
I think that's the one that was last week, and now it's
Was it last week's?
Yeah, so what's happening is that episode 84 of the dub came out last week, and it was on Toonami recently, and now we're gonna get episode 85 today. So tune in, folks. And the manga is on break next week, Golden Week. And who knows if they might change their minds about what they're doing after that.
As long as everyone stays safe, that's all that matters.
Exactly. That's all I care about. I'm like, I can live without My Hero Academia. Like, I want Horikoshi to be alright. And to be
Just about. We can just about live without it.
Yeah, just about it. Like, I can eat it through.
Yeah.
And we have a few emails and a few questions. What were you going to say, Sophie? Sorry?
Just on some podcast news, we were thinking about doing some top 10 or like top tier episodes similar to the quarantine ones. And I think like a day or a few days before we do that, we might put it out on Twitter. So if you want to be included and have your opinions heard, if you follow us at MHApod, we will read out your answers and you can be included in our top tier list.
So keep your ears to the ground. And now, are you ready to move on to the manga segment?
Now for the manga, chapter 269, The Three of Us. And that makes me think, just the three of us.
I was thinking that. I was like, shall I say it or not?
I got it in there. We can make it if we try. Anyway. Okay, so our first opening shot is of the lab, and things are broken and skipping and making all noises. Then we see a panel of Mirko lying on her back, and she's bloodied and bruised, and her arm is messed up and or gone. And she's letting out a huff. Then we have Endeavor below there, and he has like a flame design on his handkerchief that he's going to use, and he says, "I'm cauterizing your wound. Get ready, this is going to hurt."
He's all about branding.
Yeah.
I thought that was a bandana, but apparently it's a hanky.
Okay.
I love the idea of him trying, like when he started off as like a junior hero trying to wear bandanas to be cool, but every time his eyebrows set on fire, his head would as well. Like, no!
I was going to say, he hit the midlife crisis and adopted the biker lifestyle.
Look how tiny Mirko's head is in his hand.
I know.
Yeah.
It looks like it's smaller than a bowling ball.
Yeah.
His tiny little head in his massive hand.
I didn't even realize that was his arm.
His gauntlet thing looks like a drill to me, so it took me a second to figure out what was happening.
Yeah, I thought it was like a pipe. Anyway, so like I kind of wonder if he like sells those handkerchiefs and if it would be considered a business endeavor. Oh. Anyway.
I guess like I like that what he uses the handkerchief for, but also like he should do what his son does and carry around like pain medication or something.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Add to his pee-pee count.
But I guess you need two. Oh my god! I guess you need like some just small any amount of painkillers besides like heavy duty ones wouldn't help that much for what he's gonna do to her.
Yeah.
I bet no one thought this was where we would get derailed.
Yes,
it's really early. Yeah.
Second panel in.
What happens next?
Okay, so he stuffs that handkerchief in her mouth, and she says, "He's still back there." And then he's kind of like thinking back to what she said before, and he thinks it's been almost 5 whole minutes since she contacted us from here. Was she facing multiple talking Nomu all alone? And then he says out loud, add this to what I owe you from Kyushu. So you better not die, said like every fandom member ever. Okay. Then she yells, what the hell? You don't owe me crap. And I kind of got into my Bakugo impression right there. Anyway. Okay, so then she says, you're number 1. Need more. Wait, no, that's the number.
Yeah, I was like, that's the way, I like the way he said it.
Why is it like the USA chant? We're number 1.
Oh, man. Levity is good. Okay, so, yeah, that must have been the Nomu talking. So she's like, you're number 1. Need more. Make me feel more amazing. She's like flying out. I think that's woman. And she's got like crazy teeth now. Yeah. And then we see like a pretty hard to kind of tell what was going on in battle between Nomu and some of the pro heroes, including President Mike and Aizawa, and Crust is in there too. So is the laser eye guy. So Crust says, listen up, people. Shigaraki is in that capsule back there. Mirko, you're alive!
Oh no, that's Mirko talking, or Endeavor. That's talking, and that's him reacting.
I can't.
I thought it was Mirko just because the bunny ears on the.
I love those bunny ears so much. I could write a book about them.
Day 1 in the bunny ears.
Yeah, it would be a long book.
Okay, so I'm gonna go back and. Okay, so it's Mirko on his communication device. She says, "Listen up, people. Shigaraki is in that capsule back there." And Crust reacts, Mirko, you're alive!
I love that Crust is emotional.
I know, he's like...
So much.
I like him, I want more. Okay, so then she says, the capsule will probably activate him. Just like how these things woke up from a zap of electricity. All like... Because that feels really necessary, like as you're like dying. Anyway. Don't let Shigaraki wake up. He's not just some small-time thug. Not anymore. When the Nomu are looking around. I don't know what they're doing. And the one says, my body still hasn't come back to life. Oh no.
Oh, I guess it's like, gets hit and then it realizes. And we get this, things, I can't use my quirks! And we get this really epic panel of Eraserhead. He's almost like standing on the panel the panel divides, whatever you call it, which I think is cool.
Mm-hmm. It's a really cool picture.
And we're still getting the high end's perspective, or the Nomu's perspective. All the strength I was endowed with as a high end. I guess are they all high ends? That's what I got confused about. So
I believe so.
So what was high end's name then?
Hood.
That's what confused me. Okay, sorry. And they're using sheer force to shrug it off like it's nothing. And we get a really dramatic eye shot. And it says, and this is a little bit of a flashback. Eraser, you guys go on ahead. Once we get these things locked down, we'll be right behind you. And now it's Eraserhead thinking, backup should arrive in a matter of seconds. But those few seconds are still a problem. Right, Mirko? And he's zipping around. The Nomu that evaded my erasure probably started fighting Endeavor. It's trying to stay out of my line of sight. I could go and erase its quirks again, but I can't afford to blink in the meantime. Because I can't let those other 3 get their quirks back, so I can't move forward. So he's basically stuck there, so he can't go to the doctor. And he says, Exless, Mike, get in there. Exlife? How do you say it? Or isn't X sometimes silent in Japanese, so is he just left?
I thought crossless as well, but I don't know.
Well, CD Cubed, or at CD Cubed, Caleb Cook, the official translator, he thinks it's a reference to X-Men, because he's like kind of a Cyclops power, but he's got one eye, so maybe, or one laser eye, so maybe it's less than, maybe that's the point? I don't know.
But I feel like he should have another band on his face to make it have an X on his face. But I guess the X-Men just have like X's on their like chest. Just cause they're Xavier's men or something.
Mm-hmm.
But it's I Gun Hero, X-less, and then we get Present Mike, you know, like, I like his like weird cowl thing. Or like, I don't know how to describe his like.
I like the studs on it.
Yeah, he's very punk rock in this chapter.
I think it's just a collar.
Yeah. Oh, that's that. It's kind of cool to see. You get to see how big the Nomu is compared to Crust and Mike. And it's yelling, "You're not going anywhere!" But they are, because Crust does a cool shoot shield. It's just a spinny shield, kind of like a boomerang. And he's like, "Go!" And off goes Mike. And Eraserhead is saying, "Get it done!" And he does this really dramatic hand pose for no reason.
I love it.
Like, I think it's very cool. He's just running off and like, "Yo!" At Sporeman0 on Twitter, pointed out that we joked about them JoJo posing, but for their money, the most expressive Horikoshi gets is with these mid-action shots. You see it a lot with Dappy too. They carry a lot of weight, especially the focal point of the chapter, the DJ Punch! So, yeah, we do make fun of the JoJo pose, but it is very effective, and it's easily that and Eraserhead's kind of cool pose are one of my favorite parts, just because it really highlights those two characters. And we cut away to the doctor, and the doctor's thinking, the machines are busted. What about the data? Perfect! Just have to wake him up before more fluid leaks out. But damn it! I hate to do it when he's only half-baked potato. Oh, fun and me. That was meant to be the culmination of our dream. Blast it all!
And we see in desperation, the doctor goes, "Awaken Tomura Shigaraki," as he looks like he's about to press a button. And in the next panel, we see President Mike, who looks so cool, doing his loud voice. And he's not using his inside voice. But you see it shatter. It looks like he shatters everything in that area. Even you can see the doctor being blown away in the corner. And he busts open Shigaraki's capsule thing.
Yeah, from page 3 to just what page? Oh, page number's gone. To whatever page this is. "Don't wake Shigaraki up. Leave his capsule alone. He's very deadly." And then President Mike just comes in. "Boom! I'll destroy the whole thing." In probably less than a minute since they got that message.
And this is the first time we've really seen President Mike full power, because we saw him go against Jiro and Koda, but I guess even then we see how much he was holding back. Holy shit.
And I didn't get to mention that I love his design. Besides all the studs, he even's got the big pointy ones for his elbows and stuff. He's going to a Kiss concert. That's what it looks like. But yeah, everything's destroyed, and on the next page we see all the pipes and tubes and all that just being shattered, and we see Shigaraki face still hidden, sort of just falling down. And I think I thought I saw somebody catch the doctor. I don't know what that panel is in the corner, but I see somebody jumping in. It might be President Mike still, but we see the doctor still all whoa, and we see President Mike getting ready to when he's throwing his hand back. What he's gonna do? And he says "Yamada, if you're going, I will too." And there's a flashback of when they were discussing what they would do if they had the chance to beat up the doctor. And we get another flashback. It says, "That naive dream of ours as kids, it's turned into a nightmare now, but still, the three of us could." And it says, "Find out if you're the real thing." And he does a DJ punch.
Oh, that's why he punched him. I just got that.
Yeah, and then, I don't know, it's really sad always seeing the flashback with Shirakumo. I love him. But there's a really cool shot of the DJ punch. It's just a big old punch in his freaking face. The doctor deserved that punch.
Oh, you've been waiting for that for so long.
Yeah, and we see President Mike saying, that one's for making my pal cry.
Oh, such cute anger.
I know.
And then we see that Exlus is checking for breathing with just a hand on the chest. I don't know, you should probably do a little bit of listening there, mate, but whatever. He's saying, not breathing. His heart stopped. Not checking for pulses, whatever. And the doctor's saying he's in a death-like state to better withstand the burden of the process. That capsule was for facilitating the procedure while preserving and reviving him. I've only been living for the boys' sake, Shigaraki. And he'd, awful picture. I mean, great art, but awful picture.
What an awful, awful man.
Yes. So let's leave that hideousness and go on to the next panel with loads of heroes. But we can see that we haven't got her name, but that pom girl who was saying Bakugo was being too mean to Ochiko way back in the sports festival. We've got 13. We've got not Hound. Yeah, Hound Dog, isn't it? With the, I think so. With the.
I think that is Hound Dog. Yeah.
No.
No.
Okay. We can see so many heroes there, and also Panda Man. When I saw him right at the back, I was like, "Oh, Panda Man! Maybe hardly anyone will have noticed." And I'll have like seen a cool thing. No, everyone spotted Panda Man. He's in the middle, right behind 13.
Oh, I see him.
Yeah. And if people don't know who Panda Man is, he's like a random extra character that Oda, the creator of One Piece, likes to insert. We can also see Ryuko is dashing to the front, and there's a man with either bricks or a man or a woman with either bricks or books for arms.
Yeah.
Is there anyone spotted here that I haven't been able to identify? I thought that the person behind the one that I thought was Hound Dog might be a member of the Ida family, because it looks like he's got like a similar outfit to what we know Ida's family wear. But that is really pulling at straws.
They're going really fast, and we just see their zip, or their the motion of them, and there's someone flying in the up.
Yeah, I wonder if the zip line will be. Yeah, that's Gran Torino, isn't it?
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. And then below we can see that the heroes have engaged with the Nomu. And we can see 13, Gran Torino, Brickman, and then on the next panel, Ryuko coming in as a full dragon, just taking off an arm of one of the Nomu. Yep, Rocklock's there as well. And that's not Kamui Woods, it looks like a mummy one, but also the hero who wears the big scarf and like the cat onesie that took some of the students and was their mentor. She's there.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember her name. I think she's one of the sidekicks. But the Doctor just shouts, "But now it's over. It's all over. The Lord of Evil's dream will die." And now that you've announced that, we know it obviously won't happen.
Yeah. And I love that, Ryuko is holding the Nomu's head. They're all, holding it down, and Endeavor just comes in. Is that Endeavor? And just hits his head.
Yeah.
Wasn't he fighting the woman Nomu? How did he get... I don't understand. Yeah.
I think that's the same one, because if you see the teeth, they're like the large teeth that the woman Numu had.
Yeah.
And she's got the thing on her forearm, too.
So this is a little bit further back. It's not where the Doctor is.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Okay, I got confused.
In a slightly... But they're all kind of in one location, but I think it's in a different corridor. But Ryuko's holding woman down.
Yeah.
Rocklock's there as well, and also the mummy guy that we've seen before, but I don't think we have the name of her holding woman in place. So Endeavour can do what looks like a jumping spiral fire fist.
That is so cool. I guess I got confused because he was talking over it, so I was like, can he see this? But he's just wailing at
But there's a lot going on, and then I missed saying out the last two panels as we zoom into Tartarus, and we can just see All for One's face as it says, "Out the Lord of Evil's dream will die." Does he know what's going on?
I hate him. I don't want him to come back.
I know, he was horrible.
I think he's aware, at least. Hopefully he stays there.
Yeah, I worry that if he could trigger something in Deku or something, or in Shigaraki, because I don't know, that's the thing, is that something bad is going to happen. Whenever things start to go good for the heroes, and it's not the end, it means something's going to go bad.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of the subversion of, like, I think everyone thought that Shigaraki might go wild this chapter, and I like that's kind of being put off a little bit.
I wanted to mention, too, back on page 15 with, like, all the cameos, on the very bottom, right next to It's All Over and under that one Scarf Hero, Manual is there and Backdraft.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
great
but,
spot, Gary.
I love that
Yeah.
Backdraft is there. Like,
I know, we never see
he's
him.
doing some water shooting.
From the very corner.
I'm very worried about Manuel, the ordinary hero.
Yeah, I know. He just
It's too
belongs
ordinary to
there.
be right at the front.
But it's cool that him and Backdraft seem to be working together. They're probably making a bigger water blast.
Yeah.
And Death Arm should be there so we can finally do something. And
Justice for Death Arms.
Yes! And I do love, I think Sophie mentioned the pom-pom girl. She looks like a poodle, just because
Yeah.
of her goggles, and then she has looks like a nose.
Oh, yeah. Maybe
Imagine
that's
if we
the
all-
aesthetic.
Imagine if we all think there's going to be like a big death and then it's Pom-Pom Girl and everyone's like, oh, well.
Probably gonna be X less. That's my, like, number one bid for who's gonna die.
No, Crust, he's too likable.
Oh, crap.
But do we want to go over our thoughts on the chapter? I guess, Gary, what were your thoughts?
I enjoyed the chapter. There was, like, a lot of action. My only problem is it was, and kind of obvious, but it was hard for me to follow, like, who was talking at what time. And also with the Nomu, like, they each have, like, 3 or 4 powers, and there are, like, 20 of them fighting at once, so it's really hard for me to follow that as well. Like, what exactly is happening and where is it coming from? My favorite art panel is the loud voice shot where the glass is shattering and the doctor is, like, in his little, like, rotund body is, like, rolling out of the picture. Like, I really like that shot. It's pretty cool. Yep, that's about it, though.
Okay.
Nice
For me,
action chapter.
I'm really glad that Endeavor actually stopped and kind of, like, complimented Mirko and how good she was fighting. I, like, really thought he was just gonna keep charging in. But I'm glad Mirko got some kind of treatment. I'm glad we didn't see it. I wouldn't want to see her, like, screaming as she gets burned, even though it's, like, obviously healing, like, helping. How good is cauterizing a wound? Does it actually, help that much? Or
It
probably
does.
pass out?
So it does help, but it would, with the abdominal wound, that's the one I'd be skeptical about, because if you cauterize the surface and you're bleeding internally, you can bleed out but inside your body.
Ooh.
So
That's
I
what
feel
the blood's
very
supposed to be! No.
so I feel very questionable about whether Mirko would survive or not. But
Maybe.
obviously I love her, so
And I do like getting to see a little bit in the Nomu's head of thinking of, like, kind of how cool Eraserhead is. That, like, oh no, he's, like, stopping all of this. I really like that they, like, I don't know, the two of them get to, him and Present Mike both get to shine really well. I'm so happy someone finally punched the doctor in the face. And I just have dread about Shigaraki. Because also, I don't want him to die, but I also don't want him to kill the heroes. So I want them all to, like, shake hands and go home. Because I can't, they all get along. But no, this is gonna end badly. I literally just hate All For One. I don't want him to come back, like, at all. I just hate it. Like, I don't know, I just hate him. Like, there's no logic to this. I just want him to go away. He scares me. But I'll pass the torch. James, what were your thoughts?
I'll say I loved this chapter, mostly because it was very actiony. There was so much going on in a few short pages. I will say I do feel bad for Mirko that she's all beat up. Like, one of her legs is completely, like, obliterated. Her arm's gone, her stomach, one of her sides is, like, all, like, missing and stuff. It just looks bad. And I am glad Endeavor did cauterize her wounds, and like Sophie said, who knows if that really does help at all. So hopefully she's okay. The woman one just kind of calling Endeavor out just because they're always trying to look for the strongest one is kind of crazy too. So, like, he can be used as bait if you think about it now. To just lead all the Nomu just to him or something, since they're trying to seek out the strongest, it seems. And then the desperation of one of the Nomu was what got me too, where he says, like, my body still hasn't come back to life. Just sounds like the doctor might have tricked a lot of them into thinking they would get stronger and still have kind of their sense of self, I guess you could say. I like Eraserhead and President Mike got a lot of action in this chapter too, and obviously the big punch that he did for the Doctor was well deserved. That was a good moment as well.
I do wonder, they say the three of us, we can still... Do you think, like it was in Vigilantes that they wanted to make an agency, do you think they could still do that? Like, be friends with Kurogiri? Like, undo everything? I don't know if they believe that.
I wonder that too, and then I don't know if it's just me seeing a face or not, but in that panel too where they says the three of us could, Shirakomu's is just like a white background, and like I kind of see a smile in the corner, like a very faint smile, but I don't know if it's just the lines or just like me seeing a face. So I was wondering if like maybe they're trying to say that Shirakumu is like in the middle panel of that phrase. But I hope something good happens to Shirako because he was like my favorite character in Vigilantes in that flashback. I loved him so much. And I felt so bad for him. But other than that, what else was I going to say? Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's not the end. Something bad's gonna end up happening. It's just such a common like thing in shonen manga. But hopefully All For One just gets to stay in Tartarus. I don't want him to come out either. I don't. That's it.
This chapter gave me a lot more respect for how difficult it must be for Ozawa to not blink while riding through the air on his, I don't know, his fabric
He's not riding
slings.
He's not riding it!
No, but he like uses them to maneuver himself, doesn't he? So he like swings about on them.
He sings about... Okay, yeah. I was imagining him like magic carpet.
Yeah, but imagine like swinging about with all that air in your eyes, even though he's got those glasses, which I'm assuming do very small amount.
Mm.
Oh, it's got to be hard to not blink. Yeah, I liked this chapter. I feel like this arc will be one of the better arcs to read through. When I go back and read through everything, I think these ones that are very like action heavy come off a lot better when you read them all as a one rather than like week to week, because the more character centered chapters you can kind of pull apart more, I think anyway. But with these on where there's a lot of action and there's a lot of heroes we don't know and we can't read a huge amount into it, they're just great to read through. But I don't have anything to add that's not already been added.
One thing I want to say too is like I was surprised how big Woman was. Like she's the same size as Riku in dragon form. I wasn't expecting that.
I wonder if they have if after this, if they create another Nomu, though if the Doctor's going, it seems like they won't be able to, and if they have another woman, they'll just call her Woman 2. Bigger woman.
It just makes me think of, I want to see you turn into a giant woman.
A giant woman. Anyway.
Sorry, Steven Universe, I couldn't resist.
If no one's got anything to add, shall we move on to the emails?
Sure, we're going to go over a few emails that we got.
So the first one is from Black North Wind, who says, "Hello MHA Pod. I liked your reader episode about the mystery of All Might's age. I think he hides his age so that the general public don't worry about his retirement from heroism because of old age and also to keep the villains away." Good idea. I'm guessing villains are going to be more likely to keep on going with their crime if they think he's getting on a bit.
Mm-hmm. And it kind of like adds the legend to him a little bit, where he seems like kind of immortal.
Yeah, like Sasquatch, like.
Yeah, I wonder if he's mysterious about more things than just his quirk. People will be less, like they'll ask less about that because they'll just be like, "Oh, All Might, he's a mystery, whatever."
And it's interesting too because we don't, even though he's a central character, we don't know anything about his family or his upbringing or anything like that. So
yeah,
it's pretty interesting.
Good email. Thank you again, Black North Wind.
Okay, and we got two from Liz. And the first one says, "I'm very surprised season 5 is already out," which I'm assuming season 4, or maybe she just saw that season 5 was in production. But she says, "I'm still in season 3. The reason is that I can only watch it when I go to my dad's house. So when I go again, I'm going to get my ramen, Pocky, and my MHA blanket and binge watch." Sounds like a fun time.
Exactly.
I know.
Now I want Pocky.
Pocky's good. But her other email is celebrating Bakugo's birthday, which was on April 20th. And she says, I'm not sure if you know, but it's Bakugo's birthday, so happy birthday, Blasty Boy. And she continues that me and my girlfriend are going to do a Zoom meeting and celebrate it together with Takis and Flaming Hot Cheetos.
Yay! What's a Taki?
It's like a rolled tortilla thing. It's like, they're like chips, like, but they're like little rolled tortilla things. They're very good. They're like mostly spicy. Like my favorite are like the green chile verde ones, which is like green chile.
Yay.
But yeah.
Bakugo would be proud. Did any of you guys do anything for Bakugo's birthday? No.
I'm trying to think if I did do anything other than just tweet it out.
Same, just tweeting.
I have Bakugo socks. I don't think I wore them that day, though. I think I kind of forgot. I'm sorry, Bakugo. Next time.
All I did was, it was like 420 related. I retweeted the Sarah Anderson comic where she's like, haha, 420, nice. And her rabbit is like, you have never done a single drug in your entire life. She's like, haha, yeah.
I feel like Bakugo also, like, wouldn't do drugs. Just because I think they, like, what do you call it? They, like, really hammer down on drug use in Japan, or it seems like, at least. So I don't think he would risk, like, his reputation. At least from, like, what we saw in the first chapter.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Plus, like, in the first chapter, he was, like, telling that one kid, put that cigarette out.
But I think that's all for the emails. We do have we put out asking for Twitter questions because it's our 100th episode. Yay!
Woo!
So we got a little bit of a meta theory. This is from @Sporeman0, and they're saying bit of a weird meta theory, but the song "Might You" seems to me like it's sung from the perspective of the predecessors, Vestiges of One for All. That also matches where it played because Deku's usage 100% each time, although a sample size of just 2 like instances of it isn't particularly convincing. Have you guys all listened to Might You? Or if you've seen the movie, you've heard a bit of it.
Yes, I like Might You, but I never got that idea. That's actually a pretty good theory.
Because a lot of it is, it's kind of like, will be there, like across all distances. I kind of thought of it more as maybe the students and kind of like being a hero in general, but I do like the idea of it's the Vestiges and like they're all supporting Deku through it all. And then he has a reserve to rely on. I don't know if anyone else has any thoughts on that one.
No, good idea.
And they also had a question, do you think All For One intends Shigaraki to actually be his successor? Or is he planning on body swapping into him?
Yeah, body swapping seems like the sort of thing he would do.
Yeah.
That's what I do wonder if part of his quirk, I think part of his quirk was put into Shigaraki or something. So I do wonder if maybe there will be a fight for control.
It would be really cool if he didn't want to body swap. I mean, I thought that was where he was going to go, and then he like undid the supervillain thing of wanting to live forever and was like, actually, no, I'm tired. It's a bit shit. You try, I'm going to nap forever.
Oh, sad. And they did, or Gary, did you have any thoughts on that?
Oh, I don't think he's gonna body swap him. I think he seemed pretty proud of the fact that he was able to take over the mantle as opposed to like Deku. So yeah, I think he's like retired. He's over it.
Mm. Horikoshi does like Star Wars though, and that was the plot of, spoilers, the latest Star Wars movie. So that could be cool. And they also add, personally, I don't mind what One For All's intentions are, so long as if he did want to steal Shigaraki's body, that he fails and gets killed. Shiggy got to be the final boss, and One For All's death would be impactful regardless. I think that would be cool. Who knows? Like, Horikoshi could do anything, really. We'll see. And, does someone else want to read the other question? Does anyone else have it up?
Okay, this is from Joshua. He says, if you could have a job in the MHA world, what would it be, and how would you use your quirk with it?
Oh, and that's @Pongzilla.
Oh, that's a good username. I would still be a nurse.
What was your quirk healing? I forget.
Yeah, something very similar to Oh no, I've forgotten my number one's name.
Uh-oh. Recovery Girl?
Yeah,
Recovery
like
Girl?
something very similar, like a one that aids healing. Or even just like a quirk that took pain away would be pretty cool. But I'd still be the same way I am now. Very boring answer. Guys, be more exciting than me.
The anesthesia hero would be cool, because you could also make people really loopy.
That is not a good side effect that we want. I did think about helping people go to sleep, but Midnight does that.
You've been addicted to your own painkiller.
Yes, that's why how Michael Jackson died. Oh, it wasn't he. I mean, you mean if you created a painkiller?
Yes.
He created them in the lab.
You're like, yeah, Michael Jackson had a quirk. What are you talking about? Sorry, I don't mean to be excited. I'm sorry if I made light there.
You probably could do. I mean, you can get addicted to anything, can't you?
Mm-hmm.
But does anyone else want to go?
I will say, I think when I first came on here, I said that I would want Weldy's quirk, which, yes, I still would love Weldy's quirk. Just because it would make, like, the applications for it are pretty endless, so I think I'd be pretty set for life as far as job-wise goes.
Gary?
Yeah, mine was getting songs stuck in people's heads. So, like, I could be, like, a really good, like, marketer or, like, in advertising, so I could, like, put that quirk in commercials so the jingle gets caught in people's heads, and so that they go out and buy the product.
I guess, would you have to touch the person, or could it be, like, anything you made got it stuck in their head?
Well, I was just thinking, like, sound-wise, but, like, for it to be able to be, like, recorded, it would be a little too OP, but I don't know. We are talking, like, fiction, so.
Exactly. For me, I kind of have two ideas. I have my joke one and my, like, because I think my quirk would be similar to Present Mike's, where I just yell really loud. And I feel like I would still be the same. Like, I would still be working, I work retail, so I could just, like, yell at customers to do stuff.
That would be amazing.
Or I guess maybe, but honestly, or like loudly telling stories to people, because I kind of like that. But then my teleporting to the subway one, I could be like a taxi service, which could be cool.
I can take you down a few blocks, so it'll work.
Yeah.
Exactly. Or like, yeah, I could be the designated driver. I could just be at bars and be like, okay, who's taking the subway home? Bloop, gotcha there. But then I'd have to like take transit back to where I was because it's just the subway. Sorry, I love the subway one so much, even though it's really dumb. But I think, like, I wouldn't want to be a hero. I guess I would just be the bar taxi service.
Plus, like, in the quirk society, not everybody has, like, an OP quirk, so, like...
Yeah.
So it works out. Like, yours is more, like, grounded in reality, I would say, in the quirk world.
In terms of jobs that relate specifically to the hero world, costume designer would be pretty cool. Not like May with coming up with gadgets and stuff, but just designing their actual costumes. I feel like that would be really fun. And then I tried to think of other things I'd like to do, and I just kept thinking, florist. Imagine if you could just go around and create pretty flowers everywhere. That would be great. But hero, like costume designer, could also be really cool. And some of their costumes, a little bit shit. I feel like I could do better.
That's like, I want to meet Endeavor's costume designer, just because they're not good at their job. Like, or his tech, because, like, I just don't understand why he doesn't have, like, a cooling system in his suit. Like, it just...
Oh, I like his costume.
Well, why doesn't he have a cooling system?
Because he's a hot bastard. Why does, like, he doesn't need to cool down.
And also, like, he probably is too hot for that to even work. And also, Joshua did have their own suggestion, saying, I would want to run a bar cafe for heroes to relax at and use a force field quirk to do cool tricks when pouring drinks. Stay awesome. I love
that's
that.
Much better than all of our ideas.
I was thinking of mine for vigilantes, the Coda girl? I forget her name. But she's kind of like a PR person for Captain Celebrity. And I like advertising, so I could maybe do that. I think it'd be really hard, or just like doing ad campaigns for heroes, or like getting heroes to be in my ad campaign, which is kind of like what you don't want heroes doing, even though that's what they do here. So I would be like, Stain would not like me, because I'd be like, yeah, pay heroes. But again, that's not Stain's problem. That's very a simplistic thing of Stain's problem with.
His hero bar idea, I'm blown away by how much of a great idea that is. It's like whenever I watch Deadpool, I always think that the bartender guy has just the best gig. Imagine the stories you'd hear, but you don't actually have to do any of it.
Oh, yeah.
And it's got to be a pretty, like, not for them because they're mercenaries, but if you did own a bar where all the heroes went, that's a pretty cool chat-up line.
I was gonna say, plus, like, in the Deadpool world, like, that bartender, he doesn't get really hurt. Like, they try to protect him.
They do
like,
threaten to torture him. He does get threatened
sometimes,
to be
yeah, he
tortured.
does get threatened, but they don't really, like, do anything to him. So,
That's
like,
because he tells them everything. He's like, I won't tell you everything. We'll torture you. I'll tell you everything you want to know. Oh, the taxi driver. What's his name? He's got...
oh, well,
I love that guy.
it starts with a P. I just know his name was. I forgot. But
And
yeah, I love
he was
him.
just straight up going. Did he have a dude in the back of his taxi, or was he going?
Yeah.
So weird.
All I could think of, like, for taxi drivers was fat gum.
Yes, I would hire Fat Gum out as a taxi, because I would be a taxi to the subway. But I would wonder, like, if you had a hero bar, you just worry about villains attacking you, or like a villain trying to work at your bar undercover, so you have to like really screen your employees.
Any bad press is still good press.
Yeah.
I would think, too, like, somebody being, like, inebriated and then, like, losing control of their quirk and stuff like that, that would be an issue.
You could make it a hidden bar, like in a fancy hotel, like they've got those hidden bars underground that you can only know of if you can only go there if you, like, know of it. They don't advertise anywhere.
And they would also have
like
they'd have a force field quirk, so they could just put a force field around it, and the villains couldn't get in.
That's true.
Unless they, like, dug a hole. I guess your force field had to be, like, a perfect orb. It could just be, like, a half sphere.
It's just the best answer.
Yeah, but then could the force field go through solid stuff? So it might not be able to go through the Earth. I'm getting too technical. Well, I think that's all that we got.
Cool. So thank you all for joining us this week. Unless anyone has any disagreements, that's the end of the episode.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can find me on Twitter at Chopper's Antlers.
You can follow me on Twitter at Sniper of My Heart. I have another podcast about Haikyuu. You can follow that at HaikyuuPod. Gary, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Wrath of Giraffe.
Nice. James?
You can find me on Twitter at That One Welder Guy. I have two podcasts. I have the Kicking Stones podcast, which is a Dr. Stone manga read-through podcast that Gary and sometimes Kendra comes on to. And the Weeb Jammin' podcast, where for May we're doing Fooly Cooly, and hopefully we'll record that pretty soon. And you can follow that at Weeb Jammin', and the other one at Dr. Stone Pod. I don't know if I said that already, but.
And you can follow the podcast on Twitter at MHAPod. You can email us at myheropod@gmail.com. You can visit our website, which we tend to post the episode on there too, if you just want to click and listen to it there. www.mhapod.com. And that's about it. Send us your theories. What would your job be in the My Hero world? Would you take my taxi?
And then don't forget to go beyond and always seek justice for Deaf Arms. Plus
Ultra.
This is my hero academia. This is manga news and more. Plus Ultra. Ooh, we're my hero academia.